Today we're talking about the basic stance. Starting at the beginning, great way to start off a season by getting into the fundamentals. Now, whether you're an elite goalie, just getting started, beer league goalie, whatever, your stance is the foundation to your game. All your save selections are executed from your stance. It allows you to easily move, easily recover, and easily execute transition movements. So your stance is the core thing that every goalie must dial in. Now, when we talk about the stance, there's a million variations. There's a million goalie coaches, there's a million goalies. Every stance is going to be a little bit different. It's like your handwriting. However, if you're starting to get exposed in certain things, or if you're having issues getting to places in time, reacting to pucks that are near your glove block, whatever, maybe there's some stance changes that happen.
All right, Parker, today we wanted to talk to the young kids, adult goalies, just a refresher on the basic stance. And effectively what the basic stance is a position you get into, you can execute all your save selections from. Allows you to move easily, allows you to make your save selections easily and recover quickly. So show me your basic stance. Let's talk through a few things. Number one, everybody's basic stance is going to be a little bit different. Couple key considerations. We want the gloves projected forward like Parker has here. You don't want your gloves back here. You don't cover as much net. Probably 2 to 3 square more feet of net you don't cover back there. By having this nice gap between your stick and your pads, you create an area where your knees can drive down to your butterfly. So throw your butterfly down. Excellent. Now pop back up. Notice as well, you shouldn't have big armpit holes. And with your glove, you should have the palm facing the trajectory of the ice. So as the puck comes up, it can easily get in there. Now I get a lot of goalies that have some pretty funky glove positions up high. I got goalies that got them clawed. I've even got the old yo-yo position with the glove quite often. You don't want to have to move your equipment, then make a save. You want to have it save ready from your stance, so it's a simple proposition. Likewise, we don't want to do what we call a blocker lock, where you set the blocker on the pad. The reason you don't want to do that is if you got to make a save on a low shot over here, you have to detach the blocker forward and then come over, which takes too long. So don't blocker lock. Now when you look at the stance from behind, you should have a nice knee bend. It's going to be an individual preference depending on what you're comfortable with, and maybe you make some changes as you go through hockey. But number one, you're going to have a stance when you're razor ready, like a guy's about to shoot it, a little higher stance, step up a little bit taller when you're just moving around waiting for something to happen, and then a really erect stance like you're killing a penalty when the shot's on the perimeter and you're just watching and moving around from an elevated position. So you got the razor ready stance, which is a super deep one, like a guy's going to take a one-timer. You got a movement ready stance where you're moving around a little bit higher in your stance, a little more easy to move. And then you got the tall, relaxed concentration where you're conserving energy, where there's no imminent threat. Stick position. When you get a nice properly sized paddle, sometimes you'll see the goalie on their feet with just the toe on the ice, which is fine. Flurries a little bit like that as you're moving around. The key is the paddle needs to fit you in the butterfly. So dropping the butterfly again. And if you've got too tall of a paddle, you're gonna have some pretty amazing armpit holes. So let's watch Parker's stance one more time. Face me up on your feet, Parker, in your stance. You've got the stick centered in the middle of the body. It's not projected over here, creating a nice gap where somebody shoot it centered and relatively square, tilted back like a 3 or 4 iron. And let's turn 90 degrees, face the corner. Here we can really see the glove projection. Nice straight line from the shoulder through the knees, the balls of the feet, and the stick gapped. Now if we turn and face into the net, we should still see the trapper protruding here from behind because that means it's filling space. So turn around and face me again. Parker, thanks for showing me the stance today. Excellent job. Parker, we're going to work on our confined space. You know the drill here. We don't want to touch the gloves. You want to keep your stick square and centered on that red line. We're going to do the 3 basic variations. So let's give her. Key is stick stays square, violent acceleration, violent knee drive. Let's make this happen here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, take your breath. Nice, and move the gloves around. So now we do the next variation where you do the retreat on the backwards motion. Here we go. So we're driving your knees on the backwards. knees crunching, excellent. Okay, the next one we got is gonna be obviously the one where we go forwards and backwards. So you drive your knees on the forwards and on the backwards, still keeping the stick square and centered on that red line. Ready? Knees there, knees backwards. Here we go. Good control. Excellent. Attaboy. So many goalies, Parker, can do big movements, macro movements, but they can't do the little micro confined space stuff. Parker, what's the hardest thing about playing college hockey?
Being consistent every night. The fact that you only get 25 games.